Hey there, I'm your host Lisowi, and this is part 7 of the crafting series. In the last episode, we went ahead and created the split option. In today's video, we'll go ahead and start the crafting setup. So with that said, let's begin. So let's start by heading to our inventory component. And in here, we want to design a few functions to help us design the crafting system. So first of all, we'll create a function called return items. And this function will handle the returning of items to our player. Let's say we go to the crafting station, we put stuff in, but then walk away. Those items should return to the player. So in here then, we'll create a inventory component. So BPC, BPC inventory, there we go. And this is the inventory source inventory. Describes that better for us, and we want to get the inventory slots. We want to do a for each loop. I want to filter out any items that are empty. So we'll break this open. We'll need it twice. The item, if it's not equal to anything, or sorry, rather, if it's not empty, we'll go ahead. Close this down. So if it's not empty, we'll go ahead and we'll add to inventory. Now the target is self, so we are adding to this inventory, and that's the source. Item ID, item quantity. And once we're done that, now because I'm adding to the inventory from another inventory, I don't actually have a way to delete those items in here. So what we'll do is we'll resize this array here. First we will clear, and then we will resize, and this will need a size, so whatever the crafting station size is. Now for that, we need the source inventory as well. That has to go here, and if we were get the, mess here. If we were to get this again and do the inventory size, get inventory size, this will go here. And we want to update this then. And we can return. That's fine. File and save. Next, we'll create a function called get item IDs. In here, we want to do a for each loop of the inventory slots for each loop. We want to break and get the item ID. We'll do, what do we do? We want to create a local variable, local underscore item IDs, which will be of type name. And I want this to be an array. And I want to get it, and I want to add to it whatever this is. I don't connect it. And at the very end, I just want to return all of the items. And do item IDs. And there we go. File and save. Another function that we'll need is called remove from stack. So in here, we want to get in the input and the quantity. So index and quantity. We'll get the inventory slots, do a get a copy, or get a reference rather of the index here. So get a copy gets a copy, but this gets the actual value, and we can manipulate it here. So we'll break this open to get the ID and the quantity, and from here we can do set members in this slot here. So we can open that and do both for item ID and the quantity. So how this will work is we are going to minus an item, a quantity from the stack, and check if that stack is empty. Then if it's empty, then the ID should also become null, a null value. So from this, we'll do a select name and the item quantity minus the quantity here. So quantity should then check, is this not equal to null? And if it's not equal to null, A, item ID here. And if it fails, then the item ID will be set to none as well. And the quantity should go in here. New updated quantity. So that's all. Compile and save. So with that done, we can close this down now. And we can go ahead and create a new folder, or actually we have one, crafting. In here, let's go to blueprint class, create an actor called pp_crafting station. Open that, and we can add a static mesh to this. Set our static mesh, so workbench, I think I called it. There we go. Very nice. And if I compile and save, we can add in a class as well here. And by the way, if you want these assets, this project file, I have it on Patreon, so you get all the assets with it, just in case you wanted it. Then we'll do look at. So when we look at this, we can modify that. So I want to format text. We could give this a name, station name. Let's say you had multiple stations. You had an alchemy station, for example. You can just give them a name. We'll say workbench. And we can do use underscore curly brackets name close curly brackets. Name goes there. And there we go. Compile and save. And we can create a function in here called get recipes. For that, we need to have an inventory component in here. So add one in. And this we can rename to the crafting inventory. And get that. Get the item IDs. Oops. With that, we want to promote this to a local item IDs. We want to do get data table row names. We want all of those. Crafting data, and do a for each loop. And for each one, we want to get a row. So get the data table row. Plug in your crafting data again. At the very end, we'll have a branch. And the condition is we want to check if the local item IDs are identical to any of the recipes here. So we'll break this open, break that open, and we get the array here. So we can do a make array. Now we could have just used an array here, but we'd always have to create 9 slots. So that way we always have 9 slots because we did it this way. So 0 to 8. So because we have that, we can compare those arrays. We'll hide this. And if it gets a match, that means we can craft something, so it should refresh the table. So we do that, and we'll do a return. Oops, not that return. Return node here. We want to know about the item and the quantity. And item quantity. So let's see. item that will return will come from here. We can reroute this. The quantity will come from here. So we'll break that open. The quantity. So we're crafting 1. And let's see what else here. That looks to me like it's completed. So let's compile and save that. Next, let's go ahead and grab our table, put it here, rotate it. Let's bring it up slightly and adjust that. Something like this. Play. And we should be able to use it, but we can't because we haven't added we have. So character has a name. All right. So we also need to click on the static mesh and make sure that the collision here is custom and it blocks the interactive channel. So now if we compile and save and hit play, we can use the workbench. So this is it for the video. It's quite short, but we got the main functions out of the way. In the next episode then, we'll go ahead and finish off the crafting system. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, leave a like, and as always, happy developing!